All right, everyone, this is David Ha'ivri, and we are now walking in a Jerusalem neighborhood called Rehavia. I hope that you enjoy this tour. Do subscribe and click the notification button so you get notices about new videos that come up. And now let's just start walking. You see the side street is called Yehuda el-Harizi. Yehuda el-Harizi was a poet and a translator in the Middle Ages. Yehuda el-Harizi. And this street is called Ibn Gvirol, who is a Jewish rabbi and philosopher in the 13th century, 14th century, about. Now you can correct me if I say a wrong piece of information and you know the correct answer, feel free to let me know. What is very nice in many of these locations are these blue signs that tell us an historical story about the site or the building that we're seeing here. You see these blue signs. So this is the Tzrif Gdud HaAvodah, the labor battalion Gdud HaAvodah hut, built between 1920 and 1926. The hut is the only remnant of this labor organization in Jerusalem that participated in the construction of Jewish neighborhoods, including Rehavia, we're in Rehavia now, operating under the auspices of the Histadrut Jewish Labor Union. During the 1920s, the purpose of this socialist Zionist Gdud Avodah was Jewish labor, settlement, and defense. That was right here. So it's so nice that the agencies, the tourism and the municipality placed these signs at historical buildings so we can learn about the places that we are seeing in the city of Jerusalem. And this is available in other cities in Israel as well. This is the Jewish National Fund building. And these buildings are part of the national societies, the Jewish Agency, the World Zionist Organization, the Jewish National Fund, and Keren HaYesod. Notice the building under construction across the street, and the part on the left side has numbers and letters written on each stone of the building. That is a protected historical building that has been incorporated into this new complex. So the numbers on the stones represent its original form. The numbers were written on the stones. It was disassembled and then reassembled according to the numbers. And then you see some stones that have no number on them. Those were replaced. Here is the Jewish Agency and the World Zionist Organization. And this is the Keren Kayemet LiYisrael, which is the Jewish National Fund Street, and King George Street. We are now facing south on King George Street, which becomes Keren HaYesod. And here we see another one of these very nice blue signs telling about this building, the National Institutions Building, designed by architect Yohanan Reitner in the international style with local traits, and three-wing building that has become a symbol of the Jewish state to be. The KKL, the Keren Kayemet Yisrael National Fund Wing, was inaugurated in 1930, and the United Israel Appeal in 1934. The Central and the highest Jewish agency wing in 1936. In March 1948, terrorist explosion in the front yard. 12 people were killed, including UIA Director Ariel Yafe. The People's Council representative besieged in Jerusalem shared from the balcony the State of Declaration on May 14, 1948. The first Knesset sessions took part here. Here was President Weizmann sworn in. Prime Minister's office was located here until 1962. Thank you. And here you can see the building. We were reading the sign about this building with the beautiful courtyard and its three wings all around us. And here is another sign that tells us about the Zionist National Institution buildings. So we're going to walk now along King George Street from the National Institution building, and then across the street we see another office building for the Jewish Agency, and here we see the sign, the National Institution. The building in front of us is called Beit Avihai, which is a cultural center. It has a huge auditorium and cultural events, and you can see on the wall notices for different events that take place here in person and online. Beit Avihai, you can look this up on the internet, and wherever you might be, you would be able to log in to cultural events that take place here, which could be classes, lectures, music events, concerts. And this is right next door. The building here that we're passing on our left is the Yeshuan Synagogue, which is on the corner of Shmuel HaNagid and King George. Here we see the bulletin board for the Yeshuan Central Synagogue, the candle lighting times, the prayer times. I noticed that someone has passed away. The Kollel, the study group for retired people. There are no cars here, so I'm going to cross in the red, which is not advisable. And you can feel free to scold me in the comment section if you think that was not a wise decision. Here we have a cafe in the park, and it's a big sculpture there. And behind the sculpture is a public restroom. There's a restroom in the park across the street. See the bus stop here? And it has this electronic sign that tells us in real time which buses are about to arrive and how long it will take for the other lines to arrive. And here is a map telling us all of the different lines that stop here, or most of the different lines that stop here, and what their path is, where they'll be stopping on the way. So you can check and see if it was for the Ravcard, the plastic pay card for the transportation system, but now we are using an app to pay for public transportation. I think that you can still use the Ravcard card, but it's not as popular as it was before, because before it was the only means of payment for the public transportation, and now you can just download an app. You can choose the app you would like to use. You can connect your credit card, and then you can scan the bus barcode or the train barcode, or sign in for your ride and pay through the app. And here we're coming up to Rehov HaMa'alot, and across the street we can see another blue sign. This is a different type of blue sign, but has the same purpose, which is to tell us the history of this building. And here we see that it's Rehov HaMa'alot, and it's also Beit HaMa'alot, which means the Malot House. And it says, see this sign with the golden flower on the top, the Jerusalem built heritage, the built heritage Jerusalem. And it tells us this is a modern high-rise condominium, one of the first built in Jerusalem, completed in 1935. It displays the international style, notably streaming lines and vertical windows. Its elevator was also one of the first in the city. Architect Dr. Alexander Friedman and Meir Rubin. And this sign was placed here by the Ministry of Tourism, the Government Agency for Tourism, the Association for the Development of East Jerusalem, the Association for the Development of Jerusalem, and the City of Jerusalem. And here, the building ahead of us to the left is the original building for the Knesset, the Parliament of Israel. Used this building, and now it's been under renovations for years. It's meant to become the museum of the Knesset. It was once the first building for the Knesset. You can see this boarded up around the building with all different anecdotes about the history of the Knesset. So we can see there are pictures and texts telling about the history of the Knesset in Jerusalem. Here we see a picture of former Prime Minister of Israel, Yitzhak Rabin, and the King of Jordan, Hussein, Melech, King of Jordan, in the October 26, 1994. They were both heavy smokers, by the way. It says danger, construction going on. And right behind this building, we have the Gan Menorah, or the Gan Shiber, or the horse, Gan HaSus. The park has different names from different periods. Currently it's known by young people as Gan HaSus, the horse park, and that, as we can see, is because there is a sculpture of a horse here in the middle. But at one time it was called Gan Menorah because as we said, the Knesset was right here across the street, this building behind the Be'eri sign on King George and Be'eri Street. And the Knesset menorah, the menorah of the Knesset, was placed at the lower part of this park on the stage just below us. We can see historical photos of the menorah standing there. So, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this tour. I look forward to hearing back from you. Subscribe and hit the notification button and let me know what you think about these tours, and check out some other ones. Be well.